What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to be talking about Patrice, the movie. Uh, this is on Hulu, and it does have audio description, so that's a win. We're going to have to talk about the audio description track, though. Probably more so than I would like to talk about the audio description track, because it's got some problems. Unfortunately, very unfortunate. And I kind of posted on an audio description forum. I'm hoping that somebody that worked on this film takes another pass, sends Hulu a better file, but it's corrupted essentially. So that was an interesting watch. Sorry about that. My first thought with Patrice is I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I just knew it was a documentary and had audio description on Hulu, and it was new. And seriously, this is how I operate with my life. So when people challenge, are you a film critic? It's like, yeah, I review everything, sort of like regardless of my interests, and not for clout either. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this, or if 1,000 people are going to watch it. I have no idea. And I don't care. Somebody worked hard on this movie and made this film and put it out there. And they worked and made sure it had accessibility for my people. So, yeah, there we go. I'm talking about it. So, Patrice is a documentary about a disabled couple, with Patrice sort of talking more than Gary. Patrice and Gary are the couple that they'd like to get married, but they can't, because it goes into sort of all of the reasons why. They see a lawyer who sort of explains and puts it all out on the table, and they would lose all their benefits. Basically, they would be out on the street, and you see sort of all these horrible things sort of happening to them. And Patrice, interestingly, talks about how she didn't even know she was disabled until kids made fun of her in school, which I think is sort of really kind of a mind-blowing thing when you think about it, because it's like the world doesn't tell you that you're inadequate until you don't know you're inadequate until the world tells you that you are. It's not like you grow up thinking, oh shit, God, I was born in this this body and this thing, and it's the world that lets you know that you're inadequate. So for her, it was school, it was other people, which leads me to believe at least she had a decent childhood up until the time that she went to school, and that at least her parents didn't make her feel inadequate of herself. But Gary is in a wheelchair and obviously needs substantial work. He's got a motorized wheelchair. And they do cohabitate, but like in 2 different bedrooms, so they kind of look like roommates. But they also just want to get married, but they can't really get married because they'll lose their benefits. There's a thing for them with their disability and with their Medicaid and everything that they would lose just for simply getting married. And I know that with all this stuff, it gets down into the weeds with, how much money do you have? I don't think a lot of people who are not disabled realize how hard it is. They just think that people collect disability checks, and it's just like it's, I don't know, some free payday. It's actually really difficult for a lot of people to get onto these things and to maintain and to stay. The system is not really set up for a lot of people to win. And there's nothing really about these two that necessarily strikes you as being like, ooh, they've gamed the system. They're kind of just like a hop, skip, and a jump away from living on the street. And they kind of require the kind of attention and care that would not be conducive to them being unhoused. So we kind of fail a lot. I remember seeing sort of tangentially, they were talking about, I think John Oliver was talking about sort of disability with regard to the UK. And they interviewed this woman who was trying to, she was permanently bound to a wheelchair, and she had lost disability, and she was trying everything to make do, and she had sold everything in her house, including her silverware. And it's like, we shouldn't have to do that. like I have a job and stuff and I don't qualify, which is why, I make, thank God. But if I was just doing this would not be enough for me. So I think I look at Patrice's story and I'm thinking, this is a scary cautionary tale. To me, this is like a horror movie. For me and for a lot of disabled people, this is in many ways uh, like a. I feel like this could be me, but thanks to a couple of graces that I've been given, I'm a few steps ahead of this. I'm my head is above water, and it's a very sobering experience to watch something like this and to see two people. And I completely sympathize with Patrice. So I'm actually really glad I watched this movie because I didn't know it was about disabled people until I actually watched it. And then once I watched it, I was like, oh, fuck yes. I'm so happy to be here. Um, so even though we're not the same disability, and obviously everybody has a different experience based on their different disabilities, there's definitely a thread that connects all of us in a lot of the struggles that we have day in, day out. And when Patrice mentioned something as simple as not realizing that there was something wrong until they went to school, it's like, well, I kind of had sort of a similar experience where I was sighted and then I wasn't. And boy, you can feel it from the people in your life. It's the uncomfortableness when you're in a room. People don't know how to talk to you anymore. Some people just don't. Some people it's just like, bye. And I'm sure those people think they're great people too. And they go tell their friends and they're like, yes, I'm a great person. I love Jesus and Jesus loves me and all that stuff. And it's like, great. Yeah, you fell off the face of the planet because I lost my vision. So, it's such an experience and I wish more people would see this. I love that like it only has like 100 and some odd votes, but it's got like a 9.1 on IMDb. So it's like it's one of these things that like almost no one has seen, but everybody has loved. Like the whole like 130 people that have bothered to rate it on IMDb are all like, yes, you know. Um, but it's such an interesting look into these two people's lives. I really love this movie. I have no idea what kind of an awards profile it has, or if it even qualifies. Like, where does it qualify? I have no idea. I feel like this was so silently released. It's just like, if anything, me just talking about the film hopefully will get it maybe a few more views. Maybe people will be like, what is Patrice? These are the times when I wish I could just steal Chris Stuckman's channel and immediately inherit 2 million subscribers and introduce them to Patrice. Like this is why I wish I had more subscribers, is so that I could say, have you seen this? I think this film is important. And I think more people need to watch stories like this because there's a lot here that I identify with without necessarily having the same shared experience. A lot that that kind of scares me about my future. Being slightly younger than these two. I think they're both in their 50s. So, everything, love and respect and everything that goes out to Patrice and Gary, and I hope that they go on and have a wonderful life together, and that legislation is passed that allows them to do so, and we get better disability legislation and everything going down the line. Doesn't look like that's the way we're headed, but it'd be really nice if it was. So the audio description here, it's a track that is unfortunately, I want to say corrupted. It repeats itself a lot. So it'll say something like the box behind Patrice. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll say like part of what it's saying and then it'll say the full thing. Almost like a stutter, except for audio description narrators don't stutter. They purposefully hire like really complex vocal performers who are able to do these narrations for a reason. So it kind of makes me wonder like why the overlay is like that. And it does it a bunch of times, actually. There's one where she's going up a ramp and it says something about like she pushes Gary up the ramp, she pushes Should they? It starts with like the ramp ahead, or the ramp ahead with Gary, and I don't know. I can't remember what the ramp thing was too, but it does it again there. It did a few more to other times where it starts the sentence and it stops, and then it restarts the sentence, and it's very odd. And I actually haven't encountered that before with an audio description track, where it just kind of stutters its way through the film. And that's why I would encourage to take another pass at this, because it could be a corruption, it could be a sound mixing thing. Unfortunately, I know this narrator's voice, and she frequently narrates things for companies that I don't think actually care. So this is probably done by either Vitek or Diffuse. And if Vitek or Diffuse actually fixed audio description, my mind would be blown. So it's one of the two that did this, and that would be amazing if they worked on it. But she hasn't worked outside of either one of those companies, I believe. Even though I think I actually like her as a narrator. She seems to constantly be stuck with Vitek and Diffuse, who don't necessarily make me happy all the time. You can make me happy by fixing the audio description track, but then again, it's on Hulu, which struggles a lot with uploading really obvious audio description that they should have, with making sure they're getting passed through audio description from ABC. So there's like this whole other thing that doesn't even relate to this movie. I don't have the faith in Hulu either. So like, do I ever have the faith that somebody's going to care enough to fix Patrice the movie, which 130 people have seen on IMDb, and I'm not even watching it the weekend it came out? It's already been on Hulu for a couple weeks. It's been there, and only 130 people have found it, and it's new. So do I think that people are going to clamor to fix this? I don't, which is really sad, because I think this is really important. I adore this movie, and I'm going to give Patrice the movie an A. I think this is one of the best movies of the year that I've had the honor to watch. And you could say I'm biased, and I will absolutely accept that. Do I think that that the documentary is swaying more in my favor because it's about disabled people? Sure. I'm not hiding biases. I'm not trying to. I told you I was a blind film critic. It's a film about disabled people. You can draw the conclusions that you want to, but I also fully accept what this film is trying to say. And if I thought this film was pointless, or was headed in a wrong direction, or was offensive or something like that, I would not. I wouldn't go on the journey with it. So the fact is that I actually liked the journey that it went on. I think the film has something to say, and I think the characters are relatable. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and taking a chance on a blind film critic, because we need more voices. Anyway, I will see you guys on the other side.